It is never not hilarious to me that people threaten women with "you'll end up alone." Like, I am fully convinced that people never read the data on this, but like, do you know how happy divorced women are? Like, we just published a video essay yesterday on rom-coms and all of the insane messages they taught us, most of which, because obviously we're a financial channel, are like economic and consumerist. But one of them is that, like, in the framing of these movies, all of the young women, and they're like all in their 20s, because the other message is that if you don't get married by 30, your life is over. Like, they have an amazing career, an amazing group of friends, tons of disposable income. They're living their passions, and yet their lives are worthless because they're not married. And like, aside from the fact that that is like obviously socioeconomically not the case, like the framing that you can have absolutely everything in life, and because you don't have a man, none of it matters, is like literally the exact opposite of how it works. Like, they have done numerous studies on divorced women, and overwhelmingly, they report being happier post divorce, often report significantly happier, and even many times report being the happiest they've ever been, including before they've gotten married. Meanwhile, divorced men generally either decrease in happiness or immediately get remarried so they have another woman to take care of them. Anyway, the message of rom-coms and just pop culture generally is that women need to hurry and get married as soon as possible, otherwise the rest of their lives are irrelevant. When the reality of the data is that unless a man is truly additive to your happiness, you are much better off alone. And anytime a man tells you, like, don't do X or Y because you'll end up single, like, the only appropriate response is like,
Divorced women. Living the dream, right? Divorce is the ultimate jackpot, turning many from barely scraping by to middle or even upper class with just one fat settlement. Don't believe me? Look at the wealthiest women in the world. Most of their fortunes came from divorces, not their own hard work. But hold up, before you start sharpening your divorce papers, let's talk reality. Single mothers and lonely women are the ones who get the short end of the stick. When life gets tough, they're the ones sinking below the poverty line, stuck in dead-end service jobs that trade their bodies for survival. Meanwhile, men rush to remarry because, surprise, surprise, they know living alone and depending on one paycheck is a gamble. The whole independent woman thing sounds great on paper, but in the real world, many women end up unhappy, isolated, and scrambling for someone to care when things go sideways. That fantasy of thriving alone? It crashes and burns the moment reality knocks on your door.
Wives, can I just let you in on a little secret about what is slowly destroying your husband? It says in the book of Proverbs 12:4, an excellent wife is the crown of her husband. I bet you that's your goal, that you want to be the crown of your husband, the most precious thing to him. But she who brings shame is like rottenness to his bones. There is nothing that will steal the joy and the confidence of your husband more than your nagging, more than you calling him out on all those little things in order that you could secretly shame him into changing. You will not shame him into changing. You will rot his bones.
I don't think that this little man has gotten the memo that we don't care. We pick the bear. We would pick a squirrel. I would pick a flea over one of them. Is my mission in life to be the crown of my husband? I don't have a husband. I have a partner. And God, no, we've decentered men. We've all picked the bear. Ladies, believe me when I say that these little half-raised baby boys do not want a partner. They want a sexy little mom with benefit. They want to come home to your sexy little self looking absolutely perfect and skinny with your long, luscious locks and your glossy lips and your cute little sundresses and dinner coming hot out of the oven and their beautiful little babies toddling around the kitchen. And if you ask them to put their socks in the hamper or, I don't know, put the milk jug back in the fridge or anything, then somehow you're a nag. And somehow he's insinuating that Jesus didn't want wives to nag because he's throwing scriptures around there like some type of a Jesus-loving ninny muggin. And all the boys are scratching their heads going, why this 4 Bs, 5 Bs, 6 Bs now? There's 7 Bs. Why are we swiping left and swiping right and swiping up and down and nobody's swiping back on us? And I don't know if choice lesbianism is a thing, but I'm all for it. I think it's time that we all stop breeding with narcissists. In a couple hundred years, this will all die off. The future will thank us.
It's ironic how this woman constantly contradicts herself. She says she prefers bears, supports lesbianism by choice, and criticizes everything about traditional roles. But she's living the exact opposite. Her new husband is supporting her because her last one left her with nothing after the divorce, and now she's on a mission to find the perfect traditional marriage. Independence? What she's really seeking is comfort under the protection of another man's support. The funniest part? These women, who've spent most of their lives as housewives, are the loudest in telling others not to be. It's the classic case of misery-loving company. They blame men for everything, even as they rely on them to sustain their lifestyle. But of course, the "I'm independent" narrative sounds so much better when someone else is footing the bill. Honestly, you can't make this stuff up.
The whole reason why you can't appreciate a man is because you've never respected him in the first place.
Uh-oh.
Fuck them. Fuck their feelings. Why the fuck would we respect men? They're our predator. Like, they're literally, if we were put out in nature, they're the ones we should fear.
Oh my god, this woman's dog definitely stepped on a bee. So I don't know if you know this, but we are in nature. This is not a simulation. And most men are not preying on anything except for Little Caesar's extramost bestus and the gargoyles in Elden Ring. But I'm gonna let you finish.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna manipulate them. If I can get, like, their wallet to be empty and mine and empty their pockets, fuck yeah, I'll take it. Reparations, bitch. Also, like, when I was making the mistake of fucking men, I didn't hear what they wanted to say. I didn't want to listen. They're dumb. I don't respect them. When I would make the mistake of fucking them, I would literally cover their mouth because I was like, boo-boo, I don't give a fuck. You're a piece of meat for me. Let's get this over with because I need to, you need to make me not finish so I can finish me.
I swear they are finding the most creative ways to tell on themselves. This isn't even like if you squint, you can kind of see the predatory behavior. It is right there. It is a giant red flag factory. And it's almost like she realized how bad it sounded at the end there as she started stuttering. Hurry up and make me not finish so I can finish being here. Like, I guess at least you don't respect yourself either. Everything she just described about her own behavior is her being the predator. And then look at this follow-up clip.
Why would I willingly let a man into my life? So I can be fucked over? So I can be manipulated?
Oh, you mean exactly the thing that you said you do to men. You really managed to wrap up that projection in a pretty little bow, didn't you? And they all love to justify this with the whole, well, men did it first, so that's the only reason I'm doing it thing. The whole chicken and the egg thing doesn't matter because you're both chickens. Like, do you see what I'm saying here? If your response to seeing people behave like monsters is to become a monster, you're not a better monster. And I'm going to be very real with you. If you are indeed covering men's mouths during intercourse against their consent to silence them, I hope you get slapped with every essay conviction in the book. Something tells me you going to prison would be a win-win for all of us. You can finally be in a place where there are no men, and men can be in a place where they're safe from predators like you.
This woman clearly highlights her own contradictions, which deserves some recognition. As for the other woman with glasses, she seems to have more testosterone than many men and enjoys the same things they do, if you know what I mean. But let's get to the main point. We live in a world that has been shaped by men. Everything that makes our lives comfortable, from the streets we walk on to the phone you use to express your opinions, was created by men. Yet, they'll never acknowledge it. There have been experiments where women were placed on one island and men on another. Within just 24 hours, the women had to be rescued due to dehydration and lack of water, despite their belief that they can live without us. They only realize the value of men when faced with real emergencies, though they'll never admit it. This isn't some simulation. Reality always speaks louder than empty words.
They were saying that you stopped messing with them at one point because of 50-50. Is there water? Where did the water come from? What is the question? The who? 50-50. Remember they were saying that you said he was cheap? Or they were saying that you were...
Oh, the splitting the bills.
The splitting 50-50, yeah. The 50-50.
Yeah.
Remember, what was the T on that?
Yeah, do I look like anybody that would split anything?
So you guys broke up at that point because...
No, this is the question. Do I look like I would go 50-50 on bills?
No.
Okay. So yeah, that was ridiculous.
Ironically, she goes to ask, do I look like I would go 50-50? I don't think you really want the answer now, do you? Because the ones that are ignorant and keep talking about, oh, I don't want to go 50-50. Oh, the guy needs to pay for everything, even if we're not together, even if we're just in the dating phase. Oh, he has to pay for everything, even though he's not my husband. And there's always some BS when it comes to the money. I'm going to tell you one thing. You know who are the ones The ones that are so loud about, oh, I'm not going to go 50-50. The ones that look just like a streetwalker. The ones that look like they are literally on OF selling their body. Because why? Because you expect for a man to pay for everything. Yet, in the same sentiment, you say you're so independent. So which one is it? You need a man to pay for everything so that you can go ahead and keep all your money from this amazing career that you are so worried about? Let's be honest here. This is just another welfare request. This is just another money grab. Men don't want to be a welfare check. Making a remark like that just sounds absolutely asinine. And, yeah. A lot of men, especially strong masculine men, they don't want no parts of being the welfare department for a woman.
No man wants to become the financial support for this type of woman. If a woman can't support you or take care of your needs and interests, it's time to let her go. Women like this often end up alone, crashing hard when their beauty fades. They may try to land one last big score by getting a ring, but what do they bring to the table? It's not just about money. They won't even care for you or support your goals because they're selfish, believing they deserve everything simply for being women. That's why you see them in their 30s, still searching for a husband, thinking they're the prize. Meanwhile, men just have fun with them and move on. These women are never the final destination. They're just part of the journey. When they hit the wall, there's no going back. At that point, they start desperately looking for a man to take care of them. But by then, men already see them for what they are, a burden with nothing to offer.
To be the woman that men throw themselves at your service, running, rushing to serve you, hold your doors for you, pull your chair out for you, pay for you, plan your favorite trips and dates for you, bring you just because flowers. You want the princess treatment, the queen treatment, then this message is for you. I want you to ditch your old narrative, the narrative where I'm a girl who faced many hardships and I had to do everything for myself. And, my father didn't do XYZ for me, or my brothers, my grandpa, the male figures in my life didn't do the things for me. So I had to learn to do them on my own because life is hard. So I had to buckle up, put on my big girl pants. Ditch that narrative. Absolutely, the accomplishments that you've had because of this narrative, because of your experiences and the circumstances of life. Celebrate your wins. You are a badass, my boss babe. You are killing it, crushing it when it comes to your career. But you are killing your dating life as well, not in the greatest way, because you are attracting men who now look up to you for you to take care of them as well because you're so hyper independent. So if you want to be a woman who's in her feminine, I want you to carry yourself like a woman who has a different narrative. A woman who has the narrative of, I'm a woman with that all men serve. Everywhere I go, men do things for me. Men are holding my doors for me. Strangers are holding doors for me. Strangers are pulling my chairs out for me. I am that type of woman. I want you to carry yourself as a type of woman who has the siren mentality that men are created to serve me, to protect me, to provide for me. And you'll have this expectation wherever you go, even if it's like a 20-year-old boy or a 60-year-old man, you will have the expectation. You will naturally move to the side so that your door will be held for you. And don't act surprised when they do it. Don't act surprised when a man is like, oh, you need something? Here, I'll sell you. Say, thank you so much. You make me feel so lucky, so happy. For more dating tips and advice, obviously hit the follow button. But I also want to say, if you're a woman who is ready ready like yesterday to live the soft life, be in a relationship with a provider man, have the relationship that you really, really want, I encourage you to click the link in my bio and grab my free dating guide, step by step, how to go from single to happily.
The message this woman is sharing isn't entirely wrong, but the problem is in how she presents it. She frames it as taking advantage of men instead of teaching women how to embrace femininity and vulnerability with their partners. For a woman with strong masculine energy, who's spent her life being independent and adopting a boss mentality, this message is like throwing fuel on a fire. Rather than promoting balanced relationships, it feeds a narrative of emotional dependency disguised as empowerment. It's no secret that women with high masculine energy often attract more feminine men. That's why we see so many men today becoming simps, giving control to women who don't know how to support or care for a partner. If a woman wants to be treated like a queen, she needs to first qualify herself as a queen for her king. This means showing love, taking care of him, supporting him, and making him feel valued. A man who feels appreciated will always take care of his woman, because by nature men are protectors. If you want flowers, show your partner what you like. If you make him feel like a king, he'll do everything he can to make you happy because he knows your happiness reflects how well he feels with you. That's how reciprocity works in a real relationship. That's a wrap for today on MGTOW Sigma. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you're the first to know when the next video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you tomorrow.